Hi everyone, welcome back to Box Homeschool. My name is Trisha and I have been a homeschool mom for the last 11 years. My kids are in 4th grade, 7th grade, and 10th grade now, so elementary, middle, and high school. And today I'm excited to participate in a collaboration with Abby from Rooted in Rest, two channels that have been around for a long time and have a wealth of homeschool inspiration and wisdom and experience. So when you can find those accounts that bring life into your own homeschool and gives the mom just motivation and excitement towards pouring into their own homeschool, it is such a gift because seasonally, and if we want to do this for the long run, we really need those bursts of inspiration to keep us going strong and have the stamina to endure. This month's collaboration is all about life skills in homeschool, so there will be a playlist in the description linked down below, and that link will take you to the list of all the videos that are contributed to this playlist, and you might find some new homeschool accounts to follow there. So I have jotted down some notes in my planner about the different things, resources, and curriculum that we've used that have helped develop life skills in our homeschool and things that we've done in the past as well. And there are kind of 3 areas that I focus on generally for life skills. There are many more areas and subcategories, but I'm just going to talk about like the 3 main ones that we tend to focus on here. And they all kind of tie together and they affect our everyday lives. And the first one really focuses on yourself, your body, and like your health. So when they're really young, it's so easy to involve them. And I say easy because the kids want to do it. Not easy for mom, right? But it's easy because they want to help. They want to do whatever they can to help, cooking, cleaning even, which is such a blessing when they're that age, but also, a lot of work because you got to teach them or the right way to handle appliances or to clean things. And that takes a lot of effort. But if you can start that in the early years, that comes in handy and pays off greatly in the long run. So having them involved in cooking and chores and cleaning is a big one for us, especially in the early years, and being consistent with that, having them tasked with regular chores, having a day of the week that they might be responsible for lunch. Well, the way we do it for chores is they each have 2 to 3 chores per day, depending on the difficulty level of them. And at times I'll change it up, but I'll keep it kind of the same for each child. So 5 days a week, they have 2 to 3 different chores. And that is the only way that our house stays somewhat put together. 5 meals, 5 people with clothes and laundry, 5 people coming in and out of the house. It's a lot of wear if it's only falling on 1 or 2 people. With all 5 people contributing, we're able to keep going forward. And I think the kids understand that now at this point. They've seen what it's like when they don't help and what the house looks like, what their lives looks like, and how scattered me and my husband are when we feel like we're doing it on our own. So that's a big area for us. Another big area is kind of like the administration or the management of things. So making appointments, keeping their own calendar. Here's my son's planner. This is his homeschool planner, but he also keeps his chores in here. He keeps his own reminders in here. So here's like a sample page. I customized it for him. So he has like his priorities, family blessing. So for Tuesday, for example, it says vacuum, take out the trash and recycling, and clean the bathtub. So those are his 3 for Tuesday. And then all his schoolwork is listed. And at this point in middle school, he's able to take my homeschool planner and he knows his color. It's color coded. So he knows what to transfer over into his own planner. And same with my daughters as well. I didn't start off that way. It was like I would fill out their planners. That was a lot of work back in the day, but my kids are about 5 years apart altogether. So it wasn't like I was filling out all 3 planners all the time. But as they increased in responsibility, they kind of took on their own, little bit more of their own planner and managing it themselves. But I've said this before, but what has helped so much with having them have their own planners, even at a young age, I eliminated the question of what do I do next? I'm done. What do I do next? And that really drove me crazy. And them having their own planners, the work that it takes, the time that it takes to write their tasks in there is worth it for me to have a full week of not hearing that question. And it's easy for me to, when they ask for something, can I do this puzzle? I can say, did you finish everything on your planner for today? I was like, oh, I didn't. So do that first and then ask me about the puzzle. So that has been just really helpful, really efficient for our family. family. I do have a blog post all about teaching kids how to plan and why that's beneficial, and also a video showing the inside of all 3 of my kids' planners. If you want to see that, I can link those down below. Along with like home management and admin duties, my older 2 have been making their own appointments, having to email like ministry leaders at church to change their schedule, even talking to customer service about a few things. So small areas and tasks, but those small steps are just growing their confidence and not being afraid of figuring out how to work with people and ask for what you need, being able to articulate their issue or what's going on, what needs to change. All of those small moments add up into some confidence and just really taking ownership of their own schedule. And the last big area, again, there's a lot of areas, but just wanted to nutshell this so that hearing about kind of the 3 main areas that we focus on. But the last one is finances. And I do have resources to share with you about that. Okay, the first one I've shared before for many years, but all 3 of my kids now have gone through Your Business Math series, and this is from Simply Charlotte Mason. This curriculum I start usually in 4th grade up until somewhere in middle school, and it is running your own store. And there are 3 categories that they have available. They have a bookstore. This is the bookstore version. There is a pet store and a sports store. That's all that I've used with my 3 kids. That might be all that's available, but this is the bookstore version I started using this year with my 4th grader, and I chose it. If you know her, she is a crazy reader. She reads so many books so quickly. It's really hard for me to keep up with her. This lets your child run their own pretend bookstore, and everything you need is contained in this book, and there's also a teacher book that kind of explains what to do, and it runs by month. So we started in January, but you can start any time of the year, but it does kind of start in January. Okay, so you're starting your own business, and then it walks you through the different things you need to do. Create your logo, order your inventory, record your inventory, make price tags. It lists all the books that are available to buy and add to your own inventory. You have to make ledger entries, kind of old school, like checkbook style. You have a grand opening, so it's January, and you'll fulfill orders. They'll tell you what orders came in, and then you fulfill those. You check your inventory again, you calculate sales tax, so decimals and fractions, you're paying bills. You have like chance cards in the back where you cut them out and then they draw one, and it's like a new product you design becomes popular, gain $587 in extra sales. So you'll add that to your ledger, and then you'll pay your electric company, your gas company, your rent, your telephone company, your trash company. They'll learn how to write checks and then pay sales tax and decide if they want to spend any money on marketing or advertising. And then at the end of the month, you'll check your inventory and then see if you want to add to it for February. And so here's the ledger, all within the book. And then you'll check at the end if you had profit or loss before moving on to the next month. So that's just a quick look inside Your Business Math series. We've been using this for many, many years with all 3 of my kids, and it's really fun. It's just fun, and we only do it on Fridays. I feel like that's all we need, and we'll get through the month of business if we can get through like 4 Fridays. That should give us enough time for finishing out 1 month. And my oldest daughter is currently going through, this is designed for high schoolers, consumer math, and this is by Not Consumed, consumer math for real life, and I really like that. It's so practical. This book takes you through similar lessons to Your Business Math, but just designed for older kids. It's also a much newer curriculum. I believe this just came out a year ago, so it's visually appealing and just more modern. You're identifying goals, you're paying bills, you are talking about retirement and stock dividends, vetting insurance companies, very practical and real life things that we have discussed in different conversations, but not to this extent and depth. So we go through this together on Mondays and Fridays, just twice a week, and I have no big goal of finishing it in a year. I just want it to be something that we are going through consistently. There's no rush for me. I'm gonna just take this throughout high school and see if we can finish by the time she's done. So this is designed for high schoolers. I will link this below as well. The next one I picked up is for next year, and I think I'm gonna try to go through this with all of my students. New to me curriculum, and this just came in recently. I just ordered it last last week, but Beyond Personal Finance. And this is just the student workbook. There's also an online portal that does the majority of the teaching, but this is the workbook. And I wasn't sure, it's very colorful and bright and exciting, and it's a little bit pricier than I'm used to. So I only ordered one workbook for now, and I wanted to really look into it. The portal is a subscription, so it does have an expiration date. So I didn't start that yet. Once I get into it, I might do a video if enough people are curious about this. I didn't want to start that yet because we're not going to start this until the next school year. So I'm not sure if I'm going to just stick with one workbook and kind of have all three of my kids just write it down in notebooks, or if I was going to order more of these student workbooks. My plan is to look through this more thoroughly and see if it's necessary for me to order more, or if I can use this as kind of our example and then they can jot things down in their notebook to save some money. That is something that we will use next year. I do have a link for this. There might be a discount attached to it. If it is, I will link that down below. And the last one I wanted to share was something that we started in the summer last year, but we had to just put it on hold. It's so good. I just did not want to rush through this. We got caught up. She's doing dual enrollment courses and just her workload was so heavy that I thought, let's put that aside. You know, it's not necessary to stress you out. And it was so good when we did it last summer that I just don't want to rush through it when I don't want her to feel stressed about it or like it's a chore, but I want her to really enjoy and learn from it. So we're probably going to continue this in the summer and see how long we can go with it, but very practical, very God honoring in how you look at life and the economy. So it's called How the World Runs and Your Part in It. It's from Generations Homeschool, and I'll link this below. It says what the Bible says about successful businesses, work life, home economies, and national economies. Pretty big book, but nothing a high schooler cannot handle. And she also has a workbook that goes along with this. So we will be continuing this basically as soon as she's done with her 10th grade schoolwork, and I will keep you posted on this. But what we've done so far has been really good and exciting. I remember saying like, oh, I'm so glad we're doing this, but we had to put it on hold. And even though it's a big book, you look at the writing, it's not too bad. It's not too overwhelming. Aside from that, there is a book called Life Skills for Teens, and we have that. It's a bright yellow book. I'm having my son read that one. There's a lot of topics in there, but there's like short sections on each one, so just kind of touch points and giving them inspiration to ask questions on things that they're unfamiliar about. My daughter just recently completed driver's ed, so I am in the process of having her schedule her driver's ed test and having her review the handbook. It's crazy when you think of life skills as a younger homeschooler. It's a lot of like, you know, having your child learn to garden, or I just can't believe we're here at this older kid, teenage, almost adult type of life skill. And that's just wild to me. And I feel like it'll be fun to go through the playlist for this collaboration because there's probably going to be a wide range of parents with kids of different ages and what life skills they're in. So I'm excited to take a look at that. Remember to check out the link below for that playlist so you can see other life skills, other moms, and what season they are in. And visit the links below for the resources. If you have any other suggestions for life skills or resources to look into, can you leave that down below? And I will see you in the next video.